Hello, everyone. Welcome to the report submission walkthrough video series for the Texas Energy Fund's outside of ERCOT Grant Program. In this video, we'll walk through the end-to-end process to submit a significant development report in the Texas Energy Fund portal, also referred to as the TxEF Portal. We will, 1, detail how to navigate the TxEF Portal, 2, request the significant development report form, and 3, submit the significant development report form. Let's get started. Shift over to the portal. And here you will note I have already logged in. If I hadn't already logged in, you would see a login button here in the top right section. I would enter my email and my password and click login. Upon doing that, I would click on my dashboard. Then scroll down to awards, click on my award, and then scroll down to new requests. And here I would click on significant development report. I would create. You'll note I've already created a few different reports. So I will go here and click on the one that I just created. Once inside the report form, there are a few details that are important to note. First, there are red asterisks indicating required fields and sections. The form cannot be submitted if the fields are blank. Next, to the progress bar on the top left corner. This indicates just how far I've progressed in completing the form. You can also hover over the icon to indicate the fields that have been completed, both required and total. As you complete the sections of the report, these circles here will fill with blue as you make progress to show how much you have completed and how much you have left. Once you have completed a section of the form, a green checkbox will replace the blue progress circle to indicate that the section is finished. Now that you understand the form itself, you'll see that we are currently, we'll pivot back to the introduction section. The introduction page details the sections of the report as well as provides some resources in case you need them for guidance while completing the form. Once you have reviewed, click on Next Page to move to the Significant Development Report section. In the Significant Development Report section, first, click the Type field and select what kind of significant development report from the pick list. You can choose from events that enable meeting milestones and objectives sooner or at less cost than anticipated, or problems, delays, or adverse conditions. I will click on this one. Then I will type the description of the event as well as the impact of the project timeline. NA right now is to populate. After you've clicked on the problems, delays, or adverse conditions development type, you'll be required to fill in the grantee plan for corrective action field. Here you should detail your corrective action plan following a significant development. For ease of populating, I will just put NA, even though these will all be applicable upon completing them. Next, in the field labeled assistance needed to resolve the situation, this should be a description of any help needed from the TxEF administrator or the PUCT to resolve the issue and get back on track with the project. Once you've completed the required fields, there's an upload file button. This is where you will upload any documentation that supports the information you provided on the development and mitigation plan. To submit the documentation, click on File, Upload a File, and then either click Upload Files or browse your file library, or drag and drop files into the box. When your file is finished uploading, click Done and repeat the process to upload more files. When you're ready to click on Next Page, move to the attestation section, it is important to note that there is a specific file naming convention to be followed when uploading documentation. We'll save this report now, and we will go and discuss the file naming convention. The file naming convention follows this format: AWD, which stands for award, dash followed by your assigned application number, which you can locate in your grant agreement, then underscore, followed by a report code, which is SIGDEV for the Significant Development Report, then underscore the file name, underscore followed by the date of upload. The date should be in the format indicated on the screen, which is mm.dd.yyyy. Here is an example of the naming convention you'll use to upload a file to the Significant Development Report in the TxEF portal at the bottom of the screen. Now let's move to the last window, which is the attestation section. For the attestation section, first you'll check the box verifying that the information you just filled in is true and correct as of the date of the submission. Then you'll click on the calendar icon to select the date you are submitting the form. We'll put date, and now we'll put in a name, the person submitting the form. And we'll hit save as draft to save your work. If you'd like, you can click on the previous page to return to review the previous sections for accuracy. When you're ready, once both form sections are complete, click Submit to finalize the report. Once you click Submit, you will no longer be able to edit the report. Therefore, if you need to change anything or if you have any questions, please email OEGP at txenergyfund.texas.gov to reach out to the TxEF administrator for guidance or to contact your grant manager. Once you successfully submit the Significant Development Report, a submission confirmation message will appear. You will also receive an email confirming your submission. That completes the end-to-end process for submitting a Significant Development Report via the TxEF portal. You may receive follow-up requests for additional substantiation from the TxEF administrator in the form of an RFI. The Significant Development Report User Guide also contains additional information in the process for submitting the request via the TxEF portal. Thank you for watching.